I'm with Titan Hemp and Titan Bioplastics. And my partner's not here today, Tanya Hart. However, my joint venture partner in Titan Bioplastics is. And so we'll get to that in a little bit, David Abacassis. Right now, we're going to be talking about how to navigate the hemp industry. And when I met Tanya back in 2016, 2017, around there, we were both individually looking at the hemp industry from our corporate backgrounds and trying to put our arms around it as individuals. My background is in Microsoft, global alliance building, content management, evangelism, and when the state of Washington came 502, right? They were just getting the laws in order for the marijuana side of the house, the cousin marijuana. I really saw the need for system and method. Now that the toothpaste is out of the tube and there's an agenda that is global, the United States will be flipping over sooner than later. So way back when, I had the vision that a seed-to-sale program was going to be required. And so that's really what I tucked away in my back pocket and said, someday, this entire industry will need to be navigated. And I want to be a contribution to mapping that out. And Tanya, my partner, she comes from the wine and spirits industry. And we both knew that hemp farmers are the backbone to the American tradition. And the reason why we say that and believe it is because of what our government showed us in World War II, doing Hemp for Victory. That is a fascinating expose you can find on YouTube, where our own government is encouraging the United States citizens to grow hemp for victory. And you could also look at what Henry Ford did back in the day. He had a plant-based car that ran down the road, and part of that recipe for that conglomerate, for the fiberglass of the body, was made out of hemp. And so when we see George Washington saying, throw the hemp seeds out and, let's get this show going, they saw the value of hemp. And so did Henry Ford. And he had a plant-based lab that he was working in. Somehow he got derailed, and we don't know, but we're picking up where he left off. And so where we left off is we're trying to get this industry in order. So the last United States Senate committee hearing, there are 4 things that they are tackling, right? The USDA, the FDA, the EPA, research, and best practices for soil seed harvest. All of these microservices are greatly needed in education and research. Then we are looking at all of us, entrepreneurs, as a farmer or a microservice. We need help in navigating this industry from a financial perspective. A program that is equitable for the farmer all the way to the advanced buyer, win-win situations. And then last but not least is the banking, right? We all know the pains of that. So that's what drives Titan's purpose, is to support this global agenda from seed to sale. And so what does that look like? We are building business pillars, okay, to support the farmer, to support the microservice, and to the advanced buyer. So in order to support them, we have to be navigating, authenticating, and vetting. So I just want to take a step back, okay, and just show you really quick. This is just a glimpse statistically of what we are looking at today with the top 10 plastics markets, because industrial hemp is beyond CBD. The majority of us know, okay, that hemp innovation is going to be a cornucopia for every category in the marketplace. And so the reason why I'm sharing this with you today is because the top 10 plastics market, $586 billion, right, by 2021. That's right around the corner. And the big question is, right, here we go, automotive, building, construction. Then we have the biocomposite, $36 billion. Now, clearly, we're going to switch this over really soon. Titan Hemp is all about aggregating the finest microservices from seed to sale. We had 1.2 million acres in Thailand at one time, and we took it to an automotive company, and they were scratching their heads. They had no idea. It was crickets. So we had to go out and find a science team that knew what to do with the hemp plant, how to transform it, how to be innovative with it. And so that's how Titan Bioplastics was born. It was born out of a necessity. And that science team represents the top 1% in the world that knows how to translate the hemp plant into an advanced material. And the science team that is ushering in these superior bioplastics was actually in the marijuana industry with a soil amendment. And we'll get to that because that's a very, very, very important component to growing efficacious hemp materials. So let's get back to this. So can the hemp industry support this 586 agenda, right? That's a lot of plastic. We can. We want to. It's our sweet spot as a science company. It's our sweet spot as Titan Hemp, right? We are aggregating because we want to build for Disney. We want to build a program that Disney can rely on, right? And everybody else that represents that top 10 plastics. So we can support, not right away. The hemp industry is a fetus. It's a zygote. It is just starting, and it's exciting, and we're all pumped about it. We all see the potential. But this is our purpose. This is our why, okay? To create a sophisticated program that locks in the Fortune 500 in a way that feels safe and that they can actually get something done by creating this, which is a unified system. So this is what we're building out as Titan, and many, many companies, and I say many in regards to like how small our industry is, but what we have is an agenda, and it's not for everyone. We're not trying to be Amazon or eBay, everything to everybody. We are creating a program with merit and meaning. So we have the plant-based technology, we have the platform that will support the farmers, we have education, we have remediation, the white labeling programs, everything you guys are seeing in the expo hall. My company's been vetting for 4 years who can support the Fortune 50, right? And it's gonna take a team. It's gonna take a unified agenda where there's going to be a sophisticated supply chain that's valuable enough where we can onboard someone of the likes of Disney. So we totally believe that hemp will be very soon a material front runner in many categories, in every category. And I want to start out with partnerships and team building, because if you're a farmer, no matter where you're at, you're going to need partnerships and you're going to build a team. That's essential. No one's doing it on their own. I want to warn you, and this whole talk is about navigating. This is really the nitty-gritty. 70% of partnerships fail. No matter where you're at, it's, look at marriage, right? So it's really about creating the right partnerships. It's about creating a healthy exit plan, a prenup, and that's okay. It's okay to talk to your partner doing business with, like, let's talk about how we want to disengage. If that, like, how do you unravel? So it's very important that you're transparent and communicative with your partners that you're slowly, hopefully, getting to know and vetting. I also bring up Landmark Worldwide because it changed my life, and it changed many people's lives. Actually, the Susan B. Komen Foundation and many others were born out of Landmark programs. You can become powerful in very uncomfortable moments, and if you're here, you're probably a leader and an entrepreneur and doing this, and as a leader, you have to be cultivating team dynamics that make sense. So I just bring up Landmark Worldwide because they're in every nation, they're in every state, and it's changed my life. I've gone through the whole program. I'm a grad, and I promise you'll find breakthroughs, and I promise you that your life will be on a different level. And I know it has nothing to do with farming, but it has everything to do with farming, because your farm is your business, and business is built on relationships. And that's why I led with that slide, because it's that important to me. And that's what Titan's about. It's about relationships. And it's about cultivating the right relationships that can support your agenda with your clients. So I also want to start off with soil amendments, because it is a misconception that you can just throw seeds in the ground and you're going to get this big fat cash crop and you're going to just be smiling all the way. And I've seen farmers lose their pants. They've lost their shorts because they have taken some sad, unfortunate advice. So it's very important that when you look at soil amendments, when you look at all these little microservices, when you start your farm, that you do so with a lot of merit and meaning, and that when you look at a microservice, that you vet a whole bunch and see what resonates with you. So buyers, obviously, they seek top shelf, and when the buyer looks at the farm, they're going to be looking at a whole bunch of different componentries. And so you're talking about how you prep the soil, the seeds that you use, are you insured? All the microservices that I'm talking about, buyers care about. They're going to want to know, are you insured? Do you have all your little check boxes, right? Because buyers know. You're not the only farm they're looking at. The red flags with soil amendments would be pseudoscience, people who are talking about karmic energy and frequency, products without state-approved labels. Check the BBB. That would be the biggest red flag, is if anything's been reported. And any violations on packaging, again, you really want to be in alignment with companies and microservices that are actually going beyond the bar, right? You want to be aligning yourself with people that want to go beyond what that level of expectation is. So the action for the soil amendment would be look for a professional that knows how to balance your soil, because your soil is going to be looking a lot different than other farm soils. So it's not a one-size-fits-all. And tap into the Department of Agriculture in your state. That's very important. That's a paid resource for you, and you can tap that all day long. And I gave an example, Cornell, they're testing, and you can speak with the Cornell hemp professors that are working with hemp, and you can get a lot of wonderful golden nuggets from those relationships that are free for you. The soil amendment that I am so excited about is, comes from my joint venture with David Abacassis, and I put his picture up because he's here. So if you guys want to talk to someone who has been working on a specific amendment, this is something that you want to get a gander on. What David and his team has been able to find, and it really is prolific. You could grow a plant in sand. I mean, we're talking about solving world hunger with this type of technology that David is bringing on the scene. So, you have to understand how soil amendments will help keep your farm fresh and healthy, because it does matter. Seeds, they are another very important component to the backbone of your farm. You don't want to skimp on the seeds, whether it be a seed or a clone. If you're a first-time farmer, really take your time. Really take your time with the seed and the genetics, and talk to a lot of different genetic companies, because they all, have differentiating perspectives on whatnot. But one thing that I didn't put on this, you guys, is the clones. And clones, you can get uniformity, you can get a ubiquitous farm, and when you're looking at seeds, it could come from the same mother, but me and my siblings, we all are different, right? So when you're looking at seeds and working with seeds versus clones, you're going to have two different experiences. And I just want to help you navigate to look at both and do a compare-contrast of where you're at as a farmer and the risk-reward of working with seeds and taproots and whatnot versus a standard trusted clone, right? So there's a lot of different dynamics to the seed dialogue. And I only have so much time, so I don't want to go into it, and I'm not a seed expert, but you have to walk slow on this one. This is very important. Crop coverage. Obviously, that's important, right? You have weather that you're dealing with. Beyond the weather, make sure that whatever agent that you're working with has these 8 things in a policy. And also that the agent is customizing a package that has meaning for your situation, right? It's about aligning the business objective with risk management strategy. And the crop coverage teams that we're aligned with, they are a top 10 global broker. You want someone that is serving policies in both normal crops as well as specialty crops, and hemp is considered a specialty crop. So when you're talking with insurance agents, try to figure out and really demand, help me understand where you guys are at with specialty crops. It does make a difference. Now, the healthy trait for your legal. This, again, another important piece. Make sure that your attorney has hemp clientele. Make sure that you're working in the industry at some level. And the other thing that not many people know about is these amendment clauses and agreements. Make sure that your lawyer is putting amendment clauses in. So you're not starting over with a fresh agreement every time. These are billable hours. So if you have an agreement with a client, make sure that you're able to amend it and put schedules and just add to what you've already been built, right? And that is one way to keep the billing down, is having amendment clauses. Reasonable billing, right? 175 to 275, 350, in our opinion, gets a little abusive. Now, we believe that a good lawyer will help you guide you through the collaborations. You're going to be collaborating with all these different microservices, so that attorney is going to need to help you strategize the right collaboration, and as well, maybe they might have connections for you on top of who you're connected to. So collaborating is very powerful. Being a good sleuth, have your attorney make sure they know how to do background checks on potential collaborators. They'll be able to get to that point before you will. And they can do and should do that for you. Make sure they're a good mediator and a negotiator, and that they will want to mediate and negotiate something before getting to the conflict. So we want someone and are looking for those that are able to do that conflict resolution really well, right? So we can be creating win-win situations when conflicts arise. And I think that would circle back around to the landmark. That's just my humble opinion. And then the understanding of all requirements, right? You need an attorney that is really got the finger on the pulse of what's going on in regulations, EPA, USDA, FDA, labeling. I mean, the attorney has really got to have your back. And we know they can and do. Funding. You have to have a well-defined operational budget and a good use of how these proceeds are going to be distributed. So what you're going to want to look for in a good funding source is that these groups are in alignment with what you're doing. First of all, they have to be excited about it, right? And I think it's really important that the group is transparent with you and that it's a two-way street in collaborating with these financial institutions. I also believe that it's very important when you're looking at funding and bringing on a funding partner. They're an extra partner in the mix. So make sure that it goes back to the PREMA. You're picking reasonable walking away points. And some of these walking away points that you need to know about would be keeping your investment money as operating capital as long as you can. You don't want to lose money. So you have these boundaries of this is where I'm at and this is what I'm willing good. Outside of that is non-negotiable. So, and at no point should these financial terms give an investor an economic incentive for your business underperforming. That is a big no-no. So, when you're looking at taking on money, first of all, it's a dance, and you're not going to want to rush into it. I've just seen a lot of heartbreak in that area. Remember, 70% of partnerships fail. So we really need to be doing this dance well. Buyers and brokers, I love this picture. Someone sent this to me, and it's so true. We are not in the isolate game. We're not brokers. We could be misconstrued as brokers because we are a part of exchanges and facilitating, representing material. However, the buyer broker is very essential. I think they're somewhat underserved, but they are so critical because it's the guys that move the material, right? You're a farmer and you want your stuff to get sold. These are the ones that are going to do it. However, we need to navigate with these buyers and brokers. You don't want to work with buyers and brokers that are rushing a transaction. There's no reason to rush. Someone who's showing you a bank statement, trying to impress you with, hey, this is what we got. Refusing to sign an NDA is a red flag to us. In an NDA, talk with your attorney about what an NDA actually means. NDAs are used in all sorts of industries. I come from Microsoft, and NDAs is a normal thing that we do with partners and new clients and vendors. So it's nothing that is special to the hemp industry. However, this industry does not know how NDAs work. And so if someone doesn't want to sign one or they say, I don't care, you might want to really walk slow with that individual and let them know that you care about NDAs. And it's the most important agreement that you can sign with your partners and suppliers. This is very important. And anyone who wants to disregard this or diminish it, you might want to take a second look at. Refusing to expose layers. This one is a biggie. And this one actually is a reflection of that hot tub. I got a guy. I know a guy. And the layers for this, 30,000-pound deal is like 10 brokers thick, right? So everyone wants to get to the buyer, and everyone wants to get to the farmer. Everyone wants the one who's selling and buying to be exposed, yet the layers in between don't want to expose those. Why? Why? If you're under NDA, and if you're completely transparent, and if you have a good deal, right, it should work. Everyone can put together deals that work. When you're not transparent, when you have these red flags showing, chances are you're going to lose out. It's just the science behind it. So what to look for in a good broker and buyer? Well, someone who's been in the industry for a while, right? Someone who's seen the heartache, who's been a contribution to successes, and that they can articulate at some level what they're doing in the industry and where their trajectory is, right? A broker with no ego, right? Again, someone who's operating with transparency, who wants to absolutely say, here it is, open kimono. This is what's going on. Nothing to hide. A team or an agent who has solid and fair agreements. This is very important, that these agreements are vetted and win-win for everybody. And an understanding of COAs and escrow and all that jargon that our industry is about. That all of these things are components that we all care about. But someone who knows how to manage them and push them and pull them and to do a program management around them, that's what you're going to want to look for from the broker-buyer pool. So from a good farmer, like what buyers are looking for from a good farming perspective, farmers who provide traceability of the material, right? Directly talk about how the material has been grown. Buyers want to know that the farmer is completely invested from seed to sale, right? When a buyer comes to a farm, he doesn't want to see a guy in a suit. An investor, he wants to, wow, the farmer's just, he's just hugging his plants, right? And what does that look like? Well, they respond quickly with samples, pre-sorted, willing to do, is very responsive to buyers that are interested in looking. It's unbelievable how many times that buyers come to the table and the farms just don't have the capacity to send out a flippin' pound of biomass. That buyer's going like this, Send it. If you don't send it, you're going to lose out. You're not the only one in town. So a farmer who's really on the beat is important, right? And then also packaging, labeling, if you're a farmer and a processor, there's all these little things that you need to have. And that seed to sale solutions like us, we help farmers guide and tell the story and create a narrative so the buyer understands what your story is, right? And farmers who understand the market volatility, to have a buyer come to a farmer and a farmer's like, nope, this is what I want, when everyone else is $1 less a pound or whatever. I mean, you have to understand where the marketplace is at, and it fluctuates, and it's very important to be agile like that. And also know your bottom line. You know, what are your costs? You can't go past this or else you're going to be in the red. So, you know, you have to have your pulse, your finger on the pulse on so many things. That's why these microservices are so critical to get right, because as a farmer, you're going to be wearing all these hats, but the ones that you align with should be pouring into you, helping you navigate. Because you're in a lane and you're a farmer, but you do need good legal, you do need good financial, you do need good amendments for your soil. So all of it works in harmony if you're in alignment, right? And if you can navigate and circumvent those red flags and really target and take your time with building out your farm, it's your operation. And if you do it right, you will succeed in this industry. So what Titan is up to in this regard, and it's coming soon, I do have a Microsoft background, and I built a platform that predated CRM, which is Client Relation Management, predated GoDaddy. And what my custom code did was it onboarded Microsoft and Hewlett-Packard, and they did business development on my platform. They had a username and password, and you opened up the code, and you would see this program. And it was a beautiful dashboard for the alliance. And that's what we're creating in the hemp industry is alliances. So what we're focused on is representing farms who want to be a part of a program, who want to say, yeah, I want to grow for Disney or BMW or whatever. We're planning at this trajectory because Disney will be farming. Everyone will be farming hemp. Plants are going to be replacing that $586 billion top 10 plastics. And that's just top 10 plastics. I have a whole deck on nanotubes and paints and foams and cement. I mean, that's just top 10 plastics. We are not growing enough. And we need to grow right. And we need to grow with merit and meaning together so that we have a supply chain that these Fortune 500 companies can trust and rely on. So beyond representing the materials at the end of the day, microservices that I've been talking about, the good and the bad, are very important. And that's what we're focused on incorporating in our digital platform. No more texting, no more Excel spreadsheets. We're in the 21st century, and we can operate online. And the reason why we don't have anything today is because we're not ready. We don't want to be ready because the industry's not ready. We've been 4 years vetting people like David Abacussis in his soil amendment that will solve world hunger, right? And the lawyers and the genetics, everyone is so valuable to the equation. However, no one is valuable unless you're a part of a program and your needs are getting met as an organization, and you're in service, and we all submit to each other. And that's what's so exciting, is that we are ushering in a global hemp agenda, and it starts from seed, and it goes all the way to the sale. And so you as a farmer are going to need to ask yourself, what are you going to do today, right? And where do you see yourself in a year?